Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how something I've never intended to turn into a business has generated clients, partnerships, sponsors, friendships, and opportunities that no Facebook ad or networking event ever has, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, this idea might completely change how you think about growing your business. I was doing what everyone else was doing. I strongly believe growth meant more ads, more conferences, more networking events, more LinkedIn messages, more email outreach, more content, more funnels, right? And don't get me wrong, those things absolutely work. But I noticed something. The biggest opportunities in my life never came from a funnel. They came from relationships, conversation over coffee, a dinner after an event, a random introduction, a friend introducing me to someone I never would have met otherwise. That's when I started asking myself, look, you had told me 5 years ago that one of the most profitable business I'd ever built would start with inviting a handful of people to dinner. I would have laughed. Seriously. Look, I've built marketing companies. I've run paid ads, campaigns. I've sold businesses. I've spent years figuring out how to generate leads online. If someone had said, forget all that, right? Just invite 8 people to dinner, I would have just thought they were crazy. You see what I mean? But today, I'm going to tell you the story of how something I've never intended to turn into a business has generated clients, partnerships, sponsors, friendships, and opportunities that no Facebook ad or networking event ever has, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, this idea might completely change how you think about growing your business. Story time. I was doing what everyone else was doing, right? Like most entrepreneurs, I strongly believe growth meant more or better, right? More ads, more conferences, more networking events, more LinkedIn messages, more email outreach, more content, more funnels, right? And don't get me wrong, those things absolutely work, right? Build businesses doing it. But I noticed something. The biggest opportunities in my life never came from a funnel. They came from relationships, conversation over coffee, a dinner after an event, a random introduction, a friend introducing me to someone I never would have met otherwise. That's when I started asking myself, why am I spending so much energy trying to meet hundreds of people, even thousands, when the people that changing my life are just a handful? So the experiments. I give God the credit. One day I woke up with this crazy idea. Instead of going to another networking event, what if I just invited a few interesting people to dinner, right? Thought about it, sat on it for 9 months, and then I'm like, you know what? I gotta do this. So no presentation, no sponsor speaking, no sales pitch, no exchanging business card every 5 minutes, just good people having real conversation. And honestly, didn't expect much from it, right? I thought maybe we'd have a nice dinner, maybe make a few friends. That was it. But something happened. The conversations went deeper. People stayed longer, right? Even after the dinner was over. Introductions happened naturally. Everyone left asking, when's the next one? That's when I realized, wait a minute, this wasn't about dinner. Dinner was just the excuse. The real product was trust. Then something unexpected happened. Two, three dinners, business started showing up, right? Not because I was pitching. Actually, I made it a rule not to pitch at the table. Instead, people experience how I think. People connected with each other. They saw how I ask questions, how I connect with people, how I solve problems. That created trust. And trust create opportunities. Someone became a client, right? Someone referred a client. Someone made an email introduction. Someone became a dinner partner or sponsor. Someone introduced me to another entrepreneur. One dinner led to another, then another. Eventually, I looked back and realized, wait a second, this simple little experiment had quietly become one of the highest return activities in my entire business. Now, the lesson nobody talks about, I think we've been taught to confuse attention with relationships. Attention gets clicks, relationships build companies. Let me say that again. Attention get clicks, relationship build companies. Attention get follows, relationship build opportunities. Attention get likes, relationship build trust. The internet has made it incredibly easy to reach people. Ironically, it's made meaningful conversation more valuable than ever. Most people are trying to become influencers. Very few are becoming connectors. And connectors usually win. Now you may be wondering why this work. Here's the funny thing. Restaurant doesn't really matter now. The food actually do matter because I love good food. Even the location doesn't matter. What matter is who is in the room, how safe they feel, right? Whether everyone leaves knowing someone they didn't afford, right? That's where the value is. You're not selling dinner. You're creating an environment where opportunities naturally happen. That's a completely different business. Thinking back about it, honestly, I never planned for this. I didn't wake up one morning thinking, I'm gonna build a business or I'm dinners. I was simply trying to solve a problem, like any entrepreneurs would. God blessed me with that idea. And how do you build deeper relationship in a world that's becoming more and more digital? It turns out sometimes the best business opportunities doesn't come from chasing the next shiny object. Sometimes they come from slowing down, holding up a chair, and creating space for the right conversation to happen. So if this video challenged the way you think about networking, relationships, or growing a business, I'd love for you to subscribe, because on this channel, we're not just talking about entrepreneurship. We're exploring unconventional ideas, overlooked opportunities, and real world experiments that can help you build a more profitable business and a more meaningful one. That if you ever thought about creating a business around bringing great people together, guess what? Put some additional resources in the description. You'll see a link to our Dinner Host Academy. Click on it, test it out for free for 7 days. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.